you like my slides? I love that empathy slide. I'm very excited about it. The amygdala is particularly involved in empathy, and yeah, to see that slide, how that's lit up, that was fascinating to me. I got very excited. So far we've talked about theory, but what about applications? And I want to stress to you that the things that I talk about in these lessons are the way I would use oils based on what I come into contact with day by day. Obviously, I remember things of my family, of the patients that I see, of people who've asked me questions. Your life will be different. It will trigger different thoughts with you. And I don't want you to get bogged down with lists of, in books like this. Incidentally, please download your free copy on Amazon. Don't get bogged down by the lists. I want you to take it and be dynamic with how you use it, because I'm hoping this will genuinely, I think and hope this will change your life. So I want you to have your own ideas and think through research, and please just have a try and maybe get trained. How fantastic would that be? But at this point, we're just thinking about a single bottle of oil. Lavender. It's relaxing. It's sedative. It switches your mind off so you can go to sleep. It's calming to anxiety. It's the most lovely oil for children because it's so gentle, and it brings about peace. Physically, we're talking about aches and pains, muscle soreness, anything that stings, burns. Now, one of the first things I was taught was that lavender was for burns, and it's absolutely outstanding for it. One of the things that you learn is the legend of René Gattefossé. He is arguably the father of aromatherapy. It was based on his research that I can't remember, I think he might have termed aromatherapy, it might have come from him. But the legend has it that he was doing some experiments that exploded, and he plunged his hand into a vat of lavender and it healed. And I must admit, that's what I've written in the book, that's what I was taught, and it's what people know. I've always thought it was a bit weird though, on two levels. The first was, you've got this Frenchman, and suddenly he's just got lavender in it. Why has he got lavender in his lab? So I just feel like it's a bit like Peter Sellers is the Pink Panther. It just so happens that I have concealed about my person lavender. Yeah, it just it never made sense. And who puts the hand into a vat of chemicals? Who does that? You know, he was a good scientist. Why would you do that? So I was very impressed at something that Robert Tisserand blogged about the incident. If you don't know who that is, he is our industry safety expert. Nice guy, I've met him, and yeah, mostly what he writes is quite dry because it's about safety, but yes, so this was very interesting. He had managed to come across Gattefossé own version of the story, so I'm going to tell you that. So, not in my Peter Sellers voice incidentally, but I am going to read it, so excuse me. It says, the external application of small quantities of essences rapidly stops the spread of gangrenous sores. In my personal experience, after a laboratory explosion covered me with burning substances, which I extinguished by rolling on a grassy lawn, both my hands were covered with rapidly developing gas gangrene. Just one rinse with lavender essence stopped the gasification of the tissue. This treatment was followed by profuse sweating, and healing began the next day. And he wrote that in July 1910. Now the date is quite interesting. But clearly the action was a deliberate action, and actually this became really important because just a couple of years later war broke out, didn't it? And gas gangrene became a dreadful horror in the trenches, and it led to many, many, many amputations. And Gat Fosse went on to consult with military doctors about how lavender and other essential oils were able to help to eradicate this gas gangrene and, one presumes, avoid many amputations. I'm sure I'm in the minority, I have to say, but in the case of a burn, I would still use lavender neat. I'd pour it on. The reason for that is, well, first of all, the reason for that is I know it works, but if you mixed it with another oil, for example, if you put it into almond oil, jojoba oil, any kind of carrier oil, it fries on the heat. So just that's the wrong thing to do. Somebody actually, and we had this the other day, I was up at Dexter's school, and I'm sure they won't mind me saying, there was a little girl who'd burnt herself on the stove the night before, and she was properly in pain. And one of the staff at the school had said, oh, ask Liz about using this aloe vera, and they got an aloe vera lip balm, lip soft chapstick, that's the word I'm looking for. And I'd said, no, don't, because aloe vera is absolutely right for burns. Lavender is right for burns, but it was in a wax and it was with jojoba oil, and so that's just gonna, it'd be like a chip pan on the heat a bit. It's a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, isn't it? So that's why I say I really hope you go on to learn more from other people as well. Okay, so yeah, so I would say use lavender neat on a burn, but in every other situation really I remain true to the always dilute rule. Spiritually, did that come out right? Spiritually, this is a perfect oil to use for worry. It is the worrier's oil. And yeah, it made me think of these people with the social anxiety disorder and how they felt incompetent. I use lavender specifically for somebody who worries they are not good enough. And that might not be a personality trait necessarily. It might be something to do with the transition happening in their life. So they might worry that they are not going to be a good enough parent when they're pregnant, or they are not good enough parents when somebody's a teenager. Who hasn't thought that? I mean, teenagers are horrible, aren't they? You know, they would test any parent's strength, and lavender's great. Or what about the young maiden who's going to become a wife? She might worry she's not good enough. Or going to university. I mean, that must test a lot of people. And likewise, promotion at work or going to a new job. All of those things, because the mind is a funny thing, isn't it? You can be perfectly stable and happy and confident, and one knock and it's got you down in the gutter. So that's where these essential oils are useful. So yeah, I'm not good enough, or I am not going to be good enough. I can't cope with this. I don't have the capacity for this. Or lavender. So quintessentially, it is a warrior's oil, whether that be about people, about places, or about situations you have no experience of yet. Why would you not be scared of that, actually? Fear of the unknown. If you think back to the archetype, remember we said that Mercury ruled it. Mercury's not just a planet. He was, or the planet was named after the winged messenger, or was the winged messenger named after the planet? Don't know which way it came, but he is the winged messenger, the Greeks' winged messenger from the gods. So oils that are ruled by Mercury often have something to do with intuition, being able to help you to understand those messages that are coming from here. Where did they come from? Don't know. But that's mercurial medicine, opening that interface with the spirit, with the consciousness. And also, interesting, I mean, this is more to do with the energetic course, but I'll show you. It's purple. And purple flowers tend to turn into brow chakra medicines. If it were lighter, if it were like a lavender colour, even though it's lavender plant, if it were lavender colour or going towards very pale towards white, it would be crown chakra. But that purple there, brow chakra, brow chakra medicine are to do with brain issues, foggy thinking, forgetfulness, headaches. It's very interesting, isn't it? You know, that's how they established it in the first place, and that is exactly what it's for. It's right. But also, as we're going up the chakras, this is our top chakra up here, this is our crown, this is the brow chakra. So we're moving the energy up towards the brow chakra, we're moving it up. We're lifting from despair. You see, and you'll find that you say these things in language anyway, but yeah, I'm going to give her a bit of a lift. Yeah, that's lavender. I think it's very interesting that it's an oil that is so connected with spirit, and it's the first oil that somebody discovers in their new career. And if you are doing this job properly, then you should be developing compassion, you should be developing intuition and connectedness with spirit and with what the world around you, whether that was with the plants or with the people that you are coming into contact with. I think it's really interesting. So if you're going to blend it, now you haven't touched on blending yet, you will, but there's no point me coming back and going all over it again. Sorry, kicking the kicking the table. It's a middle or a heart note, and as I say, you'll get to understand this more when you get to blending, but middle or heart note for lavender. It blends well with bergamot, black pepper, cedarwood, clary sage, one of my favourites, chamomile, nice with clove, which is good because that can be sharp medicine with a bit of a calming edge. Eucalyptus, yeah, lavender and eucalyptus is very nice. Lavender and geranium, very peaceful. Grapefruit, juniper, lavender and juniper, absolutely fantastic for things like rheumatism and arthritis. We don't cover juniper in this course, but it dissipates uric acid and it's a very good anti-inflammatory. It's diuretic, so it actually breaks down toxins and flushes them out of the system. So that's an important kind of combination, lavender and juniper. Lemon, lemongrass, mandarin, lavender and mandarin, fantastic blend, especially if you had some chamomile. I used it on my little boy when he had chicken pox. We had some sleep, it was great. Marjoram, again, not an oil that I cover in this course, but it's to do with the central nervous system and the nerves in particular. So lavender and marjoram together really helps you sleep. Palmarosa, patchouli, peppermint, rose, lavender and rose, nice. Rosemary, which is a specific for nerve pain, so lavender and rosemary, fantastic. Tea tree, thyme, vetiver. Read my vetiver book. I'm not going to cover it on this course at all, but read it. If you're going to fall in love with an essential oil, make it that one. Right, I'm going to let you do your notes in a minute. I just want to tell you about a little discovery that I made of some recordings, and I've added these into your extra resources. I love these recordings. They're kind of like binaural beats. They're called isochiral recordings, and I don't know how they've done it. It's very clever because it sounds weird. I can hear essential oils like musical notes, and what they've picked is exactly how I hear them, so somebody else must be able to do it too. But if you put your headphones on, you can hear them all over your head. So if you close your eyes, put a couple of drops on your hand and just inhale, and it's like you're walking out into the universe with nothing there. It's the weirdest excuse me, the weirdest thing. Try it. So I've given you the link to the lavender one. I can't remember if there's a chamomile one, but if there is, it'll be on the sheet. So do your questions and I'll see you back in chamomile.